This conference will now be recorded.
We're gonna give folks one more minute to hop on, and then we'll get started.
This conference will now be recorded.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Minya. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. So we are now officially able to begin, and so for folks, today is August 26th at 4:04 p.m. For our monthly police commission meeting. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the city's YouTube page, and a link will be added to our agenda tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If anyone has any public comments, those comments can be submitted in advance of our meetings at policecommission@kingston-ny.gov, and they will be able to be incorporated into our record and are shared with all of our police commissioners. So I'd like to start today by calling this meeting officially to order. It is now 4:05. I'd like to have a motion to dispense with the minutes from the last meeting. Just a reminder, the last meeting is posted on our YouTube channel, and you can find a link on last month's agenda that will take you to our live recording as well as the transcripts from our last meeting. And so can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Brad. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Thank you, Kendra. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. And so this is part of the meeting where we go over communications. Minya, have you gotten any communications that you'd like to report on as our new secretary at this point?
Yeah, so I have a few, and basically, and I've discussed that with everybody a little bit before, but we just had some communications just about the current interactions with community members and the current detail, and just people concerned about a little bit what feels to certain people like over policing right now, given the circumstances. And even though it's, some people understand that there's a necessity with the shootings that were going on to handle that situation, there's a traumatic trigger that's going on right now, this being triggered by this incident for some people. Now, I haven't received, as we know, we haven't received any direct complaints. So if this is something that is if people want us to be able to do something about this, we really need people to submit those complaints. Otherwise, there's nothing we can officially do about it. But that's the communication that's coming to me. We have talked about the potential of setting up an emergency meeting next week to discuss this, and we still have to set up the details for this, but that's the situation right now that I can describe what's going on currently.
Great. Yeah, and I would definitely encourage folks that if they have kind of communications to the police commission to, to put them either in writing or in an email, just so that we can have them kind of as part of our record. So you as the secretary will be able to kind of, again, just be able to file those as part of our, kind of the transcripts of our meetings. Right.
And then to remind people that they can talk to other community members first if they don't feel like going to us directly. Any community leader that they feel comfortable talking to can be the first person that they go to. I don't know that everybody understands that. So.
Yeah, it's really good. Thank you. So at this point in our meeting, I'd like to see if the chief can give us a report on the work that's happening at KPD.
So August 6th, we started the Blue-Gray Partnership is what we're actually calling it down here, but it involves more than just the state police and KPD. It also involves the sheriff's office and the DA's office. The program, essentially how it works is there are a number of uniformed troopers and uniformed KPD, uniformed sheriff's deputies that come in and kind of ride with each other in each other's cars. So we might have a KPD car, KPD officer driving it, and a state trooper assigned to that vehicle. There has been, as Commissioner DeJohnette mentions, a large police presence. At times we'll have, on some nights, up to 12 additional officers, troopers, and deputies working the streets of Kingston. They are focused on areas that have been problematic in the past, known to be problematic due to data sets collected through crime analysis, and we act on that. The majority of the incidents involve traffic stops, usually for equipment violations or failure to signal, so on and so forth. So the end result, really, that what we're looking for is to reduce the violence. And honestly, in the past, this has been very successful in Newburgh. The vehicle stops, normally when they don't turn up additional information leading to a gun or drugs or whatever, usually result in a warning. So someone might be driving around with a bad plate hanging off the, one screw's hanging and it's kind of like it was hastily put on. The car will be stopped, driver interviewed, and at that point, if they determine that that is just merely a screw missing from the back of the license plate, then they'll cut a warning and the driver will go on. So, but in some cases, we've had very successful results. I don't have the actual data in front of me. I'm waiting for the captain of state police and our lieutenant, Cliff Tremper, to kind of put stuff together, but it has been quite a few traffic stops, quite a few warnings, a couple of DWIs, and quite a few arrests as well. So, for us, we look at it as a success when we have been able to reduce the number of shootings. I know some of the community members have voiced concerns, and certainly we have to pay attention to that as well. But I can tell you that the videos that I've seen, anytime I've received, and I've only received one concern so far to date, at least from my office, the officers conduct themselves in a professional manner. And in the cases that I've looked at, they've explained the needs for the stop, the purpose behind the stops, and the purpose for the increased visual presence of the troopers, the officers, and the deputies. In addition, we're also working with a lot more personnel when it comes to narcotics investigations. And then lastly, the third component of this is the community outreach. Trooper Anka Watts and our officer, Chris Holbert, working together to meet community members and at least inform them of what the real purpose of this is. But certainly, I understand some of the concerns that community members have.
One of the things that I would, add just to your report, if I could, is that, as part of our kind of commitment to keeping the community updated, we had indicated that by the 4-week mark, we would be able to report back to the community on, what has been achieved. And I know that you're working on that. And so, for the commission's, information, we're going to put that together and, in the next few days up until, potentially, we're going to be getting them public so they can see, what the impacts have had, on at least from the time. So you agree with Minya and the chief and I have these ongoing conversations with the state police and our partners in the sheriff's department that, as part of our commitment to doing this, and this was stated right at our very first meeting, is that we want to be able to make sure that our community understands, what we're doing, and be able to also communicate with us about how they feel about this. The concept of being able to have a forum where our police commissioners can be present, as well as the police chief and the state police. I think Minya is a great idea, and it really is. It's what we talked about doing anyway. And I know that those have happened. There's been different events that have occurred in the community where our officers and some of our commission members have joined, together with the community. But I think us as a commission, if we have some time that we can set aside, in the next week or two, to be able to have, a meeting that's open to the public to be able to come virtually, if you will, to kind of talk to us and meet with us in a more kind of face-to-face, open, dialogue, and to be able to ask questions of the chief and the state, police. And I think that's a great idea. So I look forward to working with you guys to help, set that up. And I know the chief will make himself available, and I know that, Captain Appleton has expressed multiple times that he is available at any point that we need him to meet with the community. Chief, is there anything else in your report? Okay, great. So in terms of unfinished business, I don't believe from last meeting that we had any unfinished business to roll over. The only thing that I wanted to just mention to everyone since our last meeting, and because we talked about it last meeting, I think we consider it unfinished business, is our task force that we've been mandated to do through Governor Cuomo's executive order related to reimagining, public safety in our community. We launched that process a few weeks ago. In doing so, we put out a call for volunteers to serve. As of now, I think we are now up to over 25 individuals who have expressed interest in serving on that panel. And also concurrently, we've been able to hire and form and create a partnership with our Peaceful Guardians project to be able to help us, through that entire process, from a selection of individuals to serve all the way through the final report being given to the Common Council. And that effort is led by Lester Strong. It's a part of the work that the Center for Creative has done to support creating better communication between the police department and our community. So that's going to go a long ways to help, I believe, make sure that this task force gets the job done. We all know that the mayor of the community wears many different hats, and for us to really put the time and energy in, we really need someone to be able to focus on it. And I think that, Lester and his team are going to really do a wonderful job making sure that we are putting resources into this effort that we need to not only meet the merits of the governor's executive order, but to also make sure that we're the needs of the. That was just the one thing that I had from unfinished business last time, just to kind of give everyone an update on where we are with that project. And we expect to have the first meeting in September. And we have to, over the next few weeks, get our kind of task force down to somewhere between, less than 25, that's for sure. But we don't really know what the final numbers. Does anyone have any questions on that before we move on? The last thing that,
I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm basically, oh, okay.
I think we heard you for a minute, Minya, but then I think you cut out.
Yeah, I've been basically frozen for most of this part of the meeting, so I can't tell if you can hear me at all.
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't have luck with GoToMeeting, which is a bit frustrating. Okay. The one thing I just wanted to throw in, I can't, because I can't hear everything that was said, but I just want to remind people that they can also make anonymous complaints as well. And then we can take it from there. That's one thing people don't realize as well, that that's an option as well. But I don't know if you can hear me, so I apologize.
Yes, we can hear you, and I think that's our complaint process, is something that we're trying to educate about. And Minya and our communications director, Summer, have actually been working to be able to build out our website. So if you visit kingston-my.gov/police commission, you'll see that we're actually starting to fill in that page and to build that page, to put links to our policies, links to all of us, and to be able to educate people more about the complaint process, and just to remind people of all of the different ways that complaints can be submitted, through third-party individuals like the clergy and our Human Rights Commission at the county or at the city level, and to also be able to make sure that folks can feel as though that they have access to us even as commissioners, to be able to reach out to, and that there is this opportunity that you don't have to submit a complaint to the police department itself. And so I think that's, in terms of one new business item, we talked about our Re-envisioning Public Safety Task Force a moment ago. One of the things that I would like to see is that I would like there to be a liaison between the commission and the task force. Right now, I asked for a liaison as well from the Common Council, and so the Common Council president assigned Tony Davis, who is our liaison to the commission. He's on the call today. So he's going to be our Common Council liaison to the task force. But I do think that it would be good for us to be able to have someone assigned from the commission. Being that today our goal is to do interviews for new commission members, if you feel comfortable in waiting until our next meeting, or potentially maybe we'll have to have a meeting in between to get that. But really, it's something that we may want to wait till we have a full board, and then I'll let folks volunteer. It's not something that we need to do in an actual meeting. I'll want to take suggestions on which one of you would like to do that. But we can wait until we have a full contingent, and then I'll put that out there. But I just wanted to let everyone know that that's coming, and that we will be looking to have a liaison officially from the police commission, so that there is again another voice at the table, from the work that we've done. So the next thing that we have, and really the big chunk of today's agenda, and it's something that we'll be having to do in executive session, is as part of our new bylaws. We really want to be able to make sure that we're open and transparent on our commission appointment process. Traditionally, mayors would get sometimes before me, mayors would just appoint people. Since I became mayor, I started an application process, and then we are then able to appoint folks. So now, though, what I want to be able to do is have all of us get to meet the applicants that want to potentially serve, so that we can ask a couple of different questions and be able to go ahead and meet who are potential commission members, and so that I can get your feedback as well, to be able to make sure that we're choosing someone who is representative of our community and who can serve our residents well. And so we're going to do that now. We're going to actually, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session, and then we're going to go into executive session, and then we're going to start the interview process, with our, I think today we have about 8, potential applicants. And we had a pool of over a dozen, but some ended up being former law enforcement, which our new guidelines and policies actually, don't allow. And so some folks have had to come off the list. And so we're down to at least 8 today. There are a couple that couldn't make it today, and we can talk about that as well. But for now, I'm going to ask for a motion to enter into executive session. And then, we will be able to, start the interview process. And so can I have a motion for that? Kendra
So
moves that.
moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Brad. All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, so hearing none opposed, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into the executive session now.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Hey, can we invite Alderman Davis into the executive
Oh, yeah.
session as well?
That's fine with it. Yep. So as long as that's okay with all the commission members.
You want me to put that in the form of a motion?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Sure, I'd like to make a motion. We invite Alderman Davis, the council liaison, into the executive session to the interview process.
I'll
Second.
support that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
So, Chief, would you be able to just send Tony the link just in case? I think he got it, but just in case. All right. Thank you. All right. I'll see you guys over there.